Thank you.
Priscilla said, "Chai." I'm sure she didn't see it
She
coming.
didn't see it coming.
Ah,
Okay. So you remember yesterday, Pastor O had mentioned that you're not followers, you're all leaders. Okay? So today we have come to tell you how leaders behave, how leaders carry themselves, how leaders comport themselves. Because the major thing about being a leader is that you are a role model. Your peers are looking up to you, your younger ones are looking up to you, and sometimes, depending on how you carry yourself, you even find elders looking up to you.
and seniors.
Yes, it happens.
You know.
It happens. Even in organizations, it's not by age. You know, someone can be in his or her 30s and be in management position, and someone can even be in their 50s and be an entry level staff. It happens. Okay?
Just to chip in there, you know, you may not know it, but you know, and that is why we are bringing this to your attention. Pastor Efoma hinted on very, very important thing. Talking about elders, seniors in your either your place of work or even in your family, and that is why there are some responsibilities, some things will come up, and you see your parents saying, "I'm not sure John can do it. Let us allow James to do it," even though John is the elder. You know, is the
That's
elder
true.
one. Because they are watching, even in organizations too. You see where there are openings, and there are others who you think that they are more qualified. But the board or those in management team will say,
select someone.
you know, they will not say, "I can
No.
give, let's give it to this
Let's
person."
give it to this
And
person.
every other person will say, "Yes, let's give it to that person."
That's true.
Because they have been watching you. So just listen to us, pay attention, because we want to let you know certain skill, certain characteristics, certain attitude,
and competencies,
you know, certain soft, what do you call it?
Soft skills.
Soft skills.
Competencies,
you know,
attitudes, behaviors, values.
Correct. That they will see in you, or that you can
that you will
showcase,
embody.
So that whenever there are opportunities, they will look no further.
But it has to be you. Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Depending on where you're joining us from. Pastor O got tired of saying that. I don't know why.
Okay.
Because he used to complete it for me. Anyway, so today we're talking about leading by example, which also means the same thing as being a role model. Okay, so there are foundational elements of effective leadership. Okay? And everything about effective leadership borders on, or rather, let me just even say, hinges on two elements.
Note the choice of word, effective.
Yes.
Effective leadership.
It hinges on two elements. The first one is integrity, and the second one is accountability. Now you see, these two things
powerful.
Are not moi at all. They are not beans. You see, when you talk about integrity, it's not this one that you come out and you form and you try to show everybody that you're, you know, you're all packaged, you're all prim and proper. Integrity is that one that you do when no one is looking.
No one is watching.
No one is around. No one is watching. The way you carry yourself, the way you comport yourself, how you say no to things that are tempting, to things that ordinarily you should have said yes to, how you resist everything resistible. So,
and consistently.
Consistent, that's
not
the word.
A one-off thing.
It's not a one-off thing. As in, you're just constant like the morning star. You know, so when you talk about integrity, you talk about honesty, you talk about, you know, in fact, you talk about somebody who upholds ethics. You talk about consistency in actions. and decisions. In fact, in words, in actions, in decisions, okay? Because if you have integrity, every environment where you find yourself will be stable and reliable. All right. So integrity actually ensures that leaders make decisions that are beneficial, decisions that are ethical, decisions that are just. When you talk about ethical decisions, you're talking about those decisions that meet moral standards. There was a time something happened to a 3-year-old, and they were asking that 3-year-old. She couldn't speak up. Eventually, when she did, oh my God, everywhere just went haywire. Because it even happened to be her uncle that is well respected, that is even a knight. It was all over in the news. How can you even begin to put 2 and 2 together to add that up? It just didn't sum up. Because of the man's age, because of his position in society, because of, the way he's seen, and then he was also a knight. It was in the papers. And when you think about it, you just realize that, like Pastor O always says, you don't judge a book by the cover. So when you talk about integrity, you talk about that element that makes you reliable, that element that makes people believe in you. When people say that you have integrity, it means that you're dependable. So, see 2 words here, credible and dependable. When you're credible, it means that people believe in you. When you're dependable, I'm sure you remember once or twice you've told one of your friends or 2 of your friends, hey, I knew I could count on you. If someone is dependable, it means you can count on the person, that the person is extremely reliable. These are the things that make up integrity. Okay? Integrity is about maintaining your personal reputation or the organization's reputation. It's about being open and transparent in communication. It's about your actions and everything. When I was talking about being open and transparent in communications, I remembered one news like that about one girl that had an issue with a lecturer. I don't know if you remember that. If you do, please put a yes in the chat box. The one that eventually Peme and the mother had to go to the school, because the lecturer had been asking for a series of things, and I think the girl couldn't meet up. She couldn't even confide in somebody, and a lot of things happened. I now started thinking, if that lecturer had integrity, such a thing would never have happened. It will never have happened because you are open and you're transparent. When you say, if you get so and so answer correct, you score 10. You get so and so answer correct, you score another 10. Like that. So 10 questions times 10, you get your 100%. Not the one that you finish certain questions, then you call some people by the corner and give them a different set of questions. You get what I mean? Then that means that person is not open, that person is not transparent. Because it's not the same yardstick that you're using to measure people. It's not the same yardstick that you're using to mark people. So we're talking to you and with you because we want all of us, myself, Pastor O, and all of you to embody the change we want to see. We want all of us to be the change we want to see. You can be in a community or a country and you keep saying, oh, there's this and there's that, people are doing this and people are doing that. Forget about everyone else. Concentrate on yourself. Be that change you want to see. And that's why we hold such sessions, because we need to tell you what it entails to become what you want to see. So that's it on integrity. And moving on to accountability. Accountability means being answerable for all your words, being answerable for all your actions, being answerable for all your decisions, and even the outcomes. You know, there are some people that can walk up to you and tell you they want to marry you. As they're saying it, they don't mean it. They're telling you they want to marry you, they don't mean it. It's just lip service. They're just playing lip service. It ends on their lips. There are some people now that are giving you appointment for tomorrow. As they are giving you that appointment for tomorrow, they know they are not going to be available for tomorrow. I'm sure all of us have met people like that in our journey through life. Okay? So, and then, accountability means when something happens, you don't chicken out. You don't pass the buck. You don't pass the blame. You own it. Sometimes, when we're reading comments on family trends, I'll say, my, oh my. You know, somebody can ask a question, I haven't seen it, Pastor O has not seen it, but there are some people that have ownership spirits. You know, those ones that would say, we are family trends.
Yes.
Family trends is our own. See, we don't need to look so far. We know them. You know, there are questions that people will ask. They go there and respond. Because they know that they are not just numbers. They know that they are members. You know, there is a difference between being a number and being a member. So that is accountability. Somebody can actually go to the page and write something. And you'll just see somebody come out and say, no, delete this comment. Someone did it once. I was so impressed. I never said anything to the person, and maybe this is an opportunity. It was Chinaza. And I was so impressed. I didn't say anything to her. But I just filed it away. You see, when somebody asks a question, you see Priscilla comes out, you see Innocent comes out, you see Ferdinand comes out, you see Comfort Bella. In fact, I remember one chat, someone chatted one day, and Comfort had to go there and say, please explain this statement.
Yes.
Because it sounds like it's an indictment on us. And the lady had to explain. Oh my God. And the lady had to explain. So that is accountability. Saying that this is my sheep. This is my house. This is my own. It is a very foundational and key element of effective leadership. So many of you exhibit a lot of leadership qualities that even wow us. It's just that we don't say it, but we see. We note it and we just, you know. But when the time comes for us to say it, we will say it. Okay?
And so, when time comes for us to do something,
we will also do it. All right. So, accountability entails that you don't pass the buck. You acknowledge your mistakes when you make mistakes, and you learn from them. You see, and because you are accountable, you find out that you foster a culture of continuous improvement and innovation. You know, everything around you is about learning. You don't know it all. Accountability entails that you do not know it all. So you learn, you unlearn, you relearn. You just keep learning, and learning is a continuous process, all right? And then, as a leader that you are, whenever you find yourself in any place, you set clear-cut boundaries and standards, whether in your personal life, in your relationships. There are some things that people will do that will mean that they have overstepped your boundary. You know, someone can ask you out and you're sitting down and you're talking, and then he now goes like this. You know, if it goes beyond your boundary, you say, no, you shouldn't do that. But first, you must have boundaries, because if you don't have boundaries, everything goes. Nobody will even know when and where they will cross the line. Okay? So accountability entails that you first must set clear expectations and standards, so that you can use those clear expectations and standards to measure performance and encourage excellence. So having said that, I would now move on to telling you how you lead by example. Am I too fast? Would you want to ask a question before I continue, or ask questions? I'm looking at the chat box.
Well, let's give them opportunity to ask questions if
Yeah.
they have. And use that opportunity to also let us know if you can hear us loud and clear.
Please, if you can hear us loud and clear, no echoes, no ho ho ho, no ha ha ha. All right. I'm waiting.
Okay, Nonsense, say thank you for this great message. Yeah, Comfortable and say yes, we learn, we unlearn, we relearn. Okay, that learning is a continuous process. Master's key. A good leader is always ready and willing to learn from everyone. Okay?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, Abigail, thank us, said loud and clear.
Thank you.
Master's key has given us 7.
Thank
Our
you.
traditional number for
Yes.
being loud and clear.
Okay. Okay, so I continue. So leaders actually embody the behaviors, the attitudes, and the values they wish to see, whether it is among fellow leaders or where followers are concerned. Okay? You know, it's just like you are in a house, you have children. You'll just be saying, hey, come see, sit down here. Go see, sit down here. Let me tell you the truth. If you notice children, they actually do not go by what we say. Children most times go by what they see adults do. So it's even easier to sit down where you want your children to sit down and they can follow you and sit. Or you stand where you want them to stand, than just be, do this one, do that one. If you want them to clean the kitchen, most times you get into the kitchen and clean it with them, so that they see how you're doing it and they know how to do it. So we have to be that embodiment of behaviors, attitudes, values we want to see. This approach actually ensures a culture of that integrity we spoke about, which comes with commitment and excellence. Okay? So, as a leader, when you lead by example, doing those things that you say, you know, when you lead by that example, what do you achieve? People watching you trust you. They trust you, they are comfortable with you, and then they respect you. If you want respect, you know, do what you say. It's not the one that you say something else, immediately nobody's looking, you do another thing. When you just notice that all your neighbors have gone to work, you just call, hey, babe, quick, come. Meanwhile, they have seen you as one fierce person. No dirty anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
No,
No.
No score.
Okay, so leaders who exemplify these desired behaviors establish a positive organizational culture. Okay, so people that are looking at you, whether they are fellow leaders, whether they are followers, you know, they're actually motivated and engaged. You get them motivated and engaged when they see you upholding those standards. It's so beautiful. You know, so many people would easily key into anything that affects you because they know that you're upright indeed. And then if you're working with people, you will see that that charisma that you exude will make them to be more productive. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Okay. So leaders that lead by example also promote learning. Do you know why? Okay, let me explain it in such a way that you'll understand. Pastor O is a leader. He doesn't have to always open his mouth and say something. You are watching him. His life is a book. And just by watching him and his life and his lifestyle and his patterns, you are learning. So leaders that lead by example actually encourage learning. They promote learning and development for personal and professional goals. Okay? So people watch you and they learn. Most times when people even watch you, they are not saying anything. They are not telling you anything. But if you see the impression, if you see the perception they have from watching you, you better just be careful and be sure that what you're putting out there is what you truly are. Okay? So leaders also who lead by example are better able to adapt to change. Okay? They are able to effectively guide teams through change moments. For instance, I remember when I was working in the banking industry, there was a time when we changed the software of the bank. So it was a transition period and it was not easy at all. We would go to the office and we will work from 8 a.m. to midnight. Sometimes some people would even sleep in the office. It was that tedious, because of that whole change of software thing. But sitting back now, if I think about those moments, what I remember the most were the line managers that were also there in the office with us. They didn't go home. So if we were in the office for 8 to 12, they were also in the office for 8 to 12. And you find out they can come and just stand with you and gist with you, and crack jokes and everything. And sometimes they would even order for snacks and drinks for everybody. So you find out that the morale was always high. Everybody was engaged. Everybody was motivated. And, well working happily until that whole transition period. So leaders that lead by example are better able to pull people through transitions and changes. Okay? And then leaders that lead by example are also very good at conflict resolution. Do you know why? If Priscilla and Comfort have an issue right now, and they look at me as a leader that leads by example, do you know that it's going to be very easy for me to resolve that conflict? You know why? Because they look at me and see fairness. They know that whatever it is I am going to decide and whatever it is that I am going to do will be fair for both parties, and that the decision will be reliable. So they will listen to me, and what solution it is that I proffer, they would abide by. I don't know if Pastor O wants to chip in something before I continue.
No, you are right on point.
Okay.
The key thing, just as we are talking about when we're in the banking industry.
Yeah.
Okay. I also remember a particular incident that happened when I was in the banking industry. And something happened. Somebody passed. There was a piece of paper on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed that piece of paper, possibly to go and get cleaner to pick it. And I was walking behind and I saw the piece of paper and I picked it, looked for trash bin. As I was going to the trash bin, the MD was just walking behind me. I didn't know, and he saw the two of us. Now, the message is this: when you see things that are wrong,
yes,
correct. Don't
wait for another person
who did it or who didn't do it.
Apportioning job
do
of
it,
blame.
then you can now look for, find out what happened, how it happened, and how to put preventive measures or controls in place so that it doesn't repeat itself. So the key thing is don't, just as she said, always do the right thing, whether somebody was watching or not.
That's good. So are we together? Did you get that? Okay, so leaders that lead by example also ensure long-term success for the organization because their whole being, their entirety, everything they believe, everything they stand for breeds high performance. Leaders that lead by example are high performers. Leaders that lead by example groom high performers. Okay? So we have talked about leading by example. That's why you hear somebody say, oh, she's my role model. Oh, he's my role model. What they are actually saying in essence is that this person embodies the values and the behaviors and the attitudes that resonate for me. That is what they have said in essence. You know, you see that person as somebody who has integrity and somebody who is accountable. Okay. So the next topic will be...
Sorry, just before the next topic, let's just quickly recognize some people that
came in while I was talking.
Yes, Emeka Ikade, we thank you for joining. Chioma Eminent, Ikeri Chini.
Chioma, good to see you.
And there was a name I saw before. Is it also Amaka or I hope?
You know, I was going to tell Emeka Ikade that I have watermelon juice for him.
Hey.
Emeka, I have watermelon juice for you.
He will run.
Don't go.
Hey, okay, guys. Chioma, I think there's also someone else that, oh, the names are so just flashing. Okay, please, if we have not
mentioned your name,
we would.
Yes, when we see it.
Rose back.
Okay.
Emeka Ikade say,
okay, Ferdinand said, wow, 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 wow.
Okenwa Franklin, thanks for joining too.
Thank you, Okenwa.
You say we are doing
so,
well.
Ferdinand, you're getting value, right? Good. So, practical steps to lead by example. Practical steps. Some of them I've already talked about, but I want to reiterate them, okay? So, the first one is consistent behavior. If you're listening to me right now or listening to Pastor O, would want you to just reassess yourself. Is your behavior consistent? And how do you know a behavior that is consistent? When your words and your actions match, align. When your actions align with your words. Talk na do. Talk na do. It's actually supposed to be talk and do. You know, but villagers couched it to be talk na do. So are you a talk na do person? Do you talk and do? If you talk and do, then you are an effective leader. Because what it means is that your behavior is consistent. Okay? The second one is transparent communication. So are you open and honest when you communicate? Are you open and honest? Because if your communication is not ambiguous, you know, if it has clarity, you will find out that there won't be misunderstanding when you are encountering people. Because it's clear. You know, you're not using a big diction. You know, you're not trying to say something else when you know you mean another thing, and you now want people to be reading in between the lines. No. An effective leader is always clear and simple, straight to the point. So that's the second one. I've talked about consistent behavior. I've talked about transparent communication. And then the third one is decision making. How do you make your decisions? How do you make your decisions? When you're making your decisions, do you consider the impact that decision is going to have on all the stakeholders? those decisions that you make, are they beneficial? Are they ethical? Are your decisions beneficial and are they ethical? Remember, I told you that ethical means being of moral standard. Okay? So are they beneficial? Are they ethical? You should always check that when you're making decisions. So that's point number 3. Point number 4. Do you admit when you make mistakes? You know, there are some people, when they make mistakes, lie. In fact, they would have to look for another mistake to use and cover the mistake that they have made because they don't want to come out in the open. But that's not effective leadership. Effective leadership entails that the leader will be vulnerable. You know why? Because the leader is human. No leader fell from space. So you must acknowledge your mistakes and openly too. Be honest about your mistakes. Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't know it was like this and like that and like that. I will try and correct them. So if you always accept your mistakes and try to make amends, you are an effective leader. You have the quality of an effective leader, okay? So that's number 4. I move on to number 5. Do you define standards and behaviors? Like I talked when I was saying you could go out for lunch and somebody may start holding your hand and all that. You tell the person is crossing boundaries. It's because you have a standard. If you don't have a standard, there'll be nothing for anybody to cross. That's why in organizations we have all these policies and procedures and code of conduct.
Yes.
We have standard operational procedures, SOPs. We have code of conduct. We have normal policies and procedures to guide every action that takes place within the confines of that organization. Okay? And then there are so many other things that are done in organizations just to ensure that standards are upheld. I'm digressing a bit. I'll still go back to what I was talking about. But just like you implement regular training and all that, you know, you conduct regular performance appraisals, you know, with key performance indicators or indices. Okay. And then so on and so forth. You even create a channel.
Reward performance, consequence management.
You reward performance. Yes, I was also going to get to that. Because you create channel for feedback. You create channel for feedback so that unethical behavior can be reported, you know, without retribution. You give people the opportunity to report unethical behavior. We call it whistleblowing. Yes. So that the person that is reporting is protected. And then you celebrate when people have integrity. You celebrate them. You address violations, you take actions against violations, and encourage people to reappraise and reassess themselves to know where they have gone wrong. And then lastly, like Pastor O says, you reward those who abide by the standards. Okay, so that is that in a nutshell. I go back to where I was, practical steps of leading by example. So the next one actually is you recognize and reward behaviors that align with desired values and standards. Now, as a leader that leads effectively, why do you do that? Why do you recognize these behaviors and why do you reward them? You do that to make the people that are living those behaviors and attitudes and values to know that they are doing the right thing, number 1. To know that they are appreciated, number 2. To feel good about what they do. And then for every other person to learn from them and be encouraged to do likewise. All right? So that is why we recognize people, and that is why we reward behaviors. Okay, so you find out that in a corporate organization, for instance, we have things like that are called mentorship. Master Keys, thank you. He says he really appreciates this. Innocent, the teaching is really going deep. Thank you. Priscilla, thank you.
Chioma also said, ask a question, rhetoric question, question you should ask yourself.
Yes.
She said, who is your role model? What makes him or her your role model? Is he or she leading by example?
Beautiful.
Or is he or she just your role model without impacting any positive thing on you? Remember our topic said leading by example.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Chioma.
Thank you, Chioma. Thank you very, very much. I am so honored because I suddenly realized that you are following and it's making me very happy.
Yes.
Okay. So in corporate leadership, in corporate leadership, we have what we call mentorship. So tell me in the chat box what you know mentorship to be. What is mentorship? Tell me in the chat box. What is mentorship? Let me see if anyone will get it.
Just waiting to see.
Someone who teaches you what to do.
Okay.
Good try. Good try.
That's Abigail.
Abigail, thank you. Good try. Okay, so you find out that in an organization, you have senior executives, you have middle executives, you have junior ones. So when you talk about mentorship, it's when the senior executives are sharing knowledge. They share knowledge and continuous learning with younger ones. So that is mentorship. You see, you find this mentorship mainly in corporate organizations, but you also find it in individual lives. I'm sure you have found yourself in a position where you have had to mentor some people. Okay, so it's an aspect of effective leadership. Another thing about effective leadership has to do with work-life balance. In everything that you do in life, you must strike a balance. When you're out of balance, a lot of things will not be okay. Let me give you an example. If you are excelling at work and you're not excelling at home, there is no balance. If you're excelling at home and you're not excelling at work, there is no balance. So you must strike a balance, and that is what we call work-life balance. In fact, some people have even changed it to be life-work balance. So whether it was the fish that did the swallow or Jonah that did the swallow, the important thing is
there was swallow.
There was swallow. So basically, whether it is the work and the life having balance or the life and the work having balance, let there just be a balance. This is where leaders who prioritize their own well-being set a precedence for employees. Okay? There was one day I was looking through Instagram. And I saw a bank. I saw a bank ED, with his jogging suit and everything. And he was jogging in front, and his team members were behind, jogging after him. Oh, it was so exciting to see. It was so fulfilling, very nice. That is a leader that leads by example. So, because he wants to be healthy, he also ensures that his team members are also working towards being healthy. So when you are concerned about your work-life balance, your employees will automatically remember that I had said that the best way to learn is by looking at people's lifestyle, okay, just like children do. So your employees, your team members and so on and so forth will also work towards having a work-life balance. Then another thing expected of a leader that leads by example is to ensure that you practice inclusivity. That is when everybody is inclusive. You know, you are not doing, oh, this one's culture is different. Oh, this one is from this tribe. Oh, this one is from that religion. No. It's an inclusive environment. So you promote, you know, diversity and inclusion. You know why? Because you understand that everybody cannot be the same. Everybody is different. You know, so you embrace diversity. You embrace inclusion. Okay? That is very good. Because what does it now do? It creates a relaxed work atmosphere. An atmosphere that is accepting, yes, and supportive. An atmosphere that is not toxic. The atmosphere is accepting and supportive. Tell me, if you find yourself in an environment that embraces diversity and inclusion, would you not work better? You'll be happier. You'll be motivated. You will work better. You'll be more productive. So that is the kind of things you should model as an effective leader and as an effective role model. All right? And then you see, role models are people that are eager to volunteer. Everywhere they see themselves, they're not waiting for the next person to do this and the next person to do that. They volunteer. They're in church, they volunteer. They're in communities, they volunteer. Everywhere they see themselves, they participate. And everyone else looking at them is inspired. Okay? So, that is actually basically all we have for you on role model and effectiveness. So, I don't know if Pastor O has something else to say.
Well, you have nailed it, you know, well packaged, well delivered, you know, clinically executed. And from the filler and the comments, you can see that you also benefited. You've learned so much from this, from what Pastor Efoma said. It's quite amazing. And Chioma said it's an amazing topic. Mariana, you know, okay, Mariana is just greeting.
Hello, so, Mariana, how are you? Good to see you.
And the comments here are quite encouraging. I want to say thank you very much. Now, back to, you know, this insightful topic. We believe that you have learned so much. And the only way we can be encouraged is for you to go out there and live
by example.
By example.
Yes.
You know, live by example.
Live it and lead it. So live by example, an exemplary life, and then lead by example.
You know, Pastor Efoma talked about integrity and accountability. You need to be accountable and also hold people that you influence. Let them also be accountable, because that is the only way you can prove and ensure, you know, trust. You ensure that everyone trusts each other. You trust yourselves. You act in such a way that people they will not have any doubt about your integrity. Because if you are a leader and people are doubting you, your followers are doubting you, then of course you are going nowhere. You know, it's just a matter of time. The whole thing will crumble. So you have to lead. For you to lead by example, there are so many things that you need to watch out for, which he has informed us. You have to be trusted. You have to be what we call you know, maybe let me just put it this way: open door policies. Something what you have done today.
You have to be approachable.
You have to be approachable. Open door policy, yes. People should easily approach you, and you are not going to be biased in any of your decisions or judgment, whether it is A or B, whether the person is from your place or not from your place. You are maintaining equal standard. You know, they will tell you, you take the decision irrespective of whose ox is God. You know, so she has actually said it all, and I believe that you learn so much from all that she said. You know, trust, credibility, integrity, accountability. So if you learn so much, if this training, if you benefited, maybe you just give us a 5 in the chat box.
In the chat box.
Just give us 5 in the chat box.
Okay. And I actually want to chip in that this training today on leadership, leading by example, should actually be a way of life. It should be a lifestyle. You know, when you're a role model, when you lead and live by example, you make long-lasting positive impact on yourself, on everyone around you, and on your generation. So that will be my final word for this evening.
Wow, Ferdinand, thank you. Faith, what happened? Faith Okwaraji. We didn't see you early enough.
Faith, how are you today?
Hope you are good. We didn't
How's
see
your
you
day?
early enough today.
We have so many 5s. In fact,
so many.
I'm just seeing 5,
Okay.
5s and 5s.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so
And
much.
tomorrow by 6 a.m.,
Yes.
know, our usual prayer.
Usual prayers.
Please, we encourage you to join us by 6 a.m. It's just for a short period, 6 to 7 a.m.
Yes,
and in the evening, same time, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., we'll also be here.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll be talking on wealth creation.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., we'll talk about wealth creation.
You know. And if you notice, almost all our previous sessions, we always leave them there on our page. But we are thinking of
a different method, which we will communicate in due
course. You know, because we want people to just come for the live program, participate, and you know, because some will always want to go and watch later. And
we're thinking that watching later is making people not to be participatory.
You know, because we want you to participate, we want you to ask questions, we want to also know.
So very soon, once we finish the live, we'll delete it, we'll post.
Delete it.
We'll just delete.
And if we are told we are going to post it, it may have to cost some people something to go back to it. But we are watching, looking out for all that, you know.
Yeah, we're discussing.
Yes. So we encourage you to please just participate in the live. Just participate in the live program so that you can ask questions. You also have benefit of we responding.
It's actually better to participate in the live so that you can be participatory, ask questions, receive instant answers, and so on and so forth, than to go back to watch the clip.
Okay, so if there are questions, maybe you ask now, but in the absence of any...
Yes, we have 4 minutes to take questions.
Yeah, 4 minutes to take questions. Yes. Comfortable say word creation. Yes. We are coming tomorrow this time to talk on a topic under word creation.
Word creation. Okay, so innocent gained value, comfort gained value, faith gained value, Priscilla gained value, wow, Abigail,
yes,
master ski.
You know, someone said that they are looking. Oh, okay.
Let me see what you saw. Oh, okay.
When we talk about people that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right. So, in the absence of
Innocent is buying me shawarma.
Oh,
And I said,
really?
this shawarma that you're buying for me is not audio. It will not be audio. It cannot be audio shawarma.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank you for the feedback.
Yes.
It's so fulfilling. Thank you.
So,
all right. Ferdinand, thank you so much.
We see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow
6
morning.
a.m. and
9 p.m. Thank you. God bless you. Bye. We said God bless you at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Bye.